Hey, it's John Nemo. So excited to share with you another in this series that I'm calling LinkedIn Lies. Because I get so frustrated, having done LinkedIn lead generation for myself and for countless clients since 2012. I get so frustrated when I see so many quote unquote experts giving what is really bad advice, what really does not work. And this is one of the biggest LinkedIn lies out there. And that is simply this belief or this expert advice that you've got to, LinkedIn is this amazing place to publish content. If you just publish enough content on LinkedIn and follow my 6 hacks, you're going to go viral. And, here's how to crack the algorithm on LinkedIn, and everyone's going to see your posts and just throw money at you. And, LinkedIn, it's so easy. Just publish content and leads follow and clients follow. And the reality is none of that's true. So let's start there. So I'll give you a perfect example of why this is not true. Why this LinkedIn lie exists about LinkedIn, publishing content equals clients on LinkedIn. It just doesn't simply exist. I have to date like over 26,000 LinkedIn followers. And I know, yippee, good for me. That may sound great. It may sound not so great. But the point is, I have 26,000 people who have told LinkedIn, who have opted in and said, I want to follow John Nemo. Anytime he publishes content, I want to see it. If he does a new video, a newsfeed post, an article, I'm opting in. I want to see it. So I have 26,000 followers. So in theory, right, every time I hit publish on a new piece of LinkedIn content, I've built this great audience, correct? So all 26,000 people see it. It's like a free email list. Wow, incredible, right? Wrong. When I hit publish on a new piece of content, less than 0.1% of people actually see it. So let me say that again. When I hit publish on a new piece of content on LinkedIn from my profile page, despite having 26,000 people who have told LinkedIn, who have opted in and said, I want to see John's content, I would say less than 0.1% see it. So when I publish a new piece of content, it might go to 37 people. It might go to 132 people. It might go to 200 people. And then the way the LinkedIn algorithm works with content is it shows it to a very small, tiny little microscopic slice of my real audience. And if those people interact with it in a certain way, and if they like, comment, share, post, reshare in a certain time period, which they call velocity, and if LinkedIn's AI filters decide that my content is good and useful for whatever random criteria they have, then maybe my LinkedIn content will get shared with more people. There's no guarantee. And this is where I would say 99% of what you'll find online from LinkedIn experts, if you go to YouTube or Google or even LinkedIn itself, of like, hey, how do I get more clients and business with LinkedIn? They're all pushing content. Publish more content. Go viral, hack the algorithm. And then what's really funny, having done this since 2012, is guess what? It constantly changes. What's supposed to work, if you do want to try to game the LinkedIn algorithm and get seen by more people, it constantly changes. So depending on the season that you're in with LinkedIn, it might be, okay, everyone needs to do short form videos. Nope. Okay, now everyone just needs to do text-based posts, and they can only have one line at the top and then ... Or no, right now, what's really hot is photo carousels. Do that, and you're going to go viral. And then they'll say, well, actually, no, what you need to do is get a LinkedIn engagement pod and go start a Facebook group. And then as soon as you post, tell your 542 Facebook friends to go spam the like and comment button for each other, and that'll trick the algorithm, right? And so it's this constant game. And what happens is, even if you somehow have success and you publish a LinkedIn post that quote unquote goes viral, and let's say you get a few thousand views and dozens of comments and hundreds of likes or whatever it is, those are really what I call vanity metrics. Likes and shares and comments and reposts, none of those pay your mortgage. None of those are legal tender at the grocery store. You cannot go buy milk with LinkedIn likes, right? So if you're like me and like our clients, you want to use LinkedIn to get people to actually pay you money. At the end of the day, you want paying clients from LinkedIn. And even if you get a piece of content that gets a lot of views and engagement, here's what happens. You now have to go through every single like, every single comment, every single view, every single repost, whatever it is. And you have to look at each person one by one and figure out, are they a lead? Are they not a lead? Because you might have, and there's nothing wrong with this, but you might have someone in India who liked it. and they're never going to be a client for you because you only work with US based XYZ type of business. Or you might get a college intern that likes it. Well, they're not in a position to buy your 5-figure service or 6-figure service. You might get a bunch of random people that like it and share it that you have to spend time engaging with and vetting and talking to that aren't good leads. No one's going to read. And again, if this was true, I would tell you, I've been doing it since 2012 for myself and for countless clients. I've never, ever, ever seen an instance where someone published, myself included, a viral piece of LinkedIn content and people just blew up the inbox going, please take my money. I want to hire you because you wrote a great LinkedIn post. Like, that doesn't happen. What happens if you do get a piece of viral LinkedIn content that might build some awareness of, oh, maybe I should start following this guy. Or, oh, that's a great story. I'm going to hit like and share it with my friends. But it's not going to lead to immediate business. Like, I just haven't seen that happen. A great story that I tell that really cemented it for me was growing up as a kid in the 1980s, right, and working in journalism for printed newspapers, which of course don't exist anymore. That's how old I am. But basically, my dream growing up as a kid in the 80s and then the 90s, I went to college, printed newspapers, broadcast television, like that was where it was at. If you could get featured in the New York Times, you were a big deal. You'd have so many people wanting to work with you. And so a few years ago, and I actually have it on my wall back there, if you're watching this on video, I have a framed New York Times article, front cover, business section, New York Times on a Sunday with a circulation of something like 2 million. It was featured in the New York Times newspaper talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn consultant John Nemo talking about how to generate leads. And I'm thinking, wow, I made it, right? I got featured in the New York Times. I got approximately 1 lead. So I went viral in an old school way in terms of being featured in a, huge newspaper here in the United States, 2 million circulation. I got one person who randomly looked me up on LinkedIn and reached out and said, hey, I really like the article. And it turned out they weren't even a qualified lead. They just wanted some free advice. So as opposed to what I do every single day on LinkedIn for myself and what our agency does for clients is reaching out one-on-one to your ideal prospects, talking to them and sharing one piece of content. That's what's led to, multiple, 7-figure years for our business. And then also our clients, multiple hundreds of different clients, small business owners, coaches, consultants, financial services professionals, every B2B niche you can think of, doing 5- and 6-figure deals from random cold connections on LinkedIn. So rather than killing yourself trying to constantly publish new content on LinkedIn every day and trying to hack the algorithm and trying to go viral, and again, even if you do go viral, now you've got to spend all this time chasing down all the random commenters and then engaging them more and trying to get them into a sales funnel, etc. A much easier way is what I'll outline here, is what we do every single day for clients and what I've been doing every single day since 2012. And the best part is it doesn't require any content. So that's the good news. Like, take a breath, exhale, get off the hamster wheel. You don't need to hire a content agency. You don't need to be just killing yourself to put out new videos every day that nobody is seeing. Because again, remember how the LinkedIn algorithm works. Even if you have 1,000 connections, 10,000 followers, LinkedIn will not show it to everyone. When you publish new content, LinkedIn shows it to a tiny snippet of your audience, and then it's up to the black box algorithm to decide if anyone else actually sees it. You have no control over that, unless, of course, you want to pay. Now, you've noticed probably when you publish content on LinkedIn, they've started having boxes pop up that say, hey, do you want to boost your post? Basically, pay to play. If you're publishing content on LinkedIn, if you wanted to reach people, more people, you're going to now have to pay. And that's not a good model. And I've talked about that on other episodes, why LinkedIn advertising is basically like lighting your wallet on fire. So I would not do that. Here's what works. Step 1, have a really good client-facing profile. If you need help with that, I have the ultimate LinkedIn profile template, completely free. It's fill in the blank. Go to nemomediagroup.com. There's a free button. You can download the whole template for free. Step 1, make sure you have a client-facing LinkedIn profile. Step 2, use your personal profile, sign up for Sales Navigator, which is a paid version of LinkedIn, and you can build these really good lists of your ideal prospects. The way I talk about it is like thinking about going door to door in neighborhoods, digital door knocking. You're going to reach out to your ideal prospects on LinkedIn one-to-one, one-on-one. You're going to go build all these virtual neighborhoods. So use Sales Navigator. You can build these exact pitch perfect lists. This is the exact decision maker, job title, type of business, number of employees, revenue, how many years they've been in business. I can even look at where this person went to college, what type of software they used, anything and everything I can build in these LinkedIn lists. So then I build these neighborhoods of ideal prospects. Now I can go door to door and I can basically say, okay, I'm going to go reach out to 100 to 200 people today that are my exact prospect one-on-one. What you do is you use one-on-one LinkedIn messaging, in-mails, invites. There's something called open profiles, which allow you to do free in-mails, all of which I cover in my book, LinkedIn Riches. Guess what? You can get this for free too. LinkedInriches.com. You can get the whole book for free, or NemoMediaGroup.com. That will give you all the techniques and strategies of how to build these lists and how to get 1 to 200 outreaches per day, whether you want to do it yourself, hire someone to do it, hire an agency like ours to do it for you, which is obviously something we do every day. Basically, you reach out and you have one good piece of content. And the one type of content that I've seen work across every vertical, every niche, every industry since 2012, and we've tested everything: webinars, podcasts, videos, articles, newsletters, you name it, any type of content you can think of, podcasts. The one type of content that works best to offer your prospects on LinkedIn when you're talking to them one-on-one is an ebook. And what I mean by ebook is not like AI generated slop that's just generic tips that aren't really that good. It's a really nicely written and designed high-end kind of PDF, 3,000 to 5,000 words long, so maybe 10 to 15 pages. It's designed, it's got photos of you, it's got your company branding, your logo. It's 50% your story, your journey, your background. If you're a solo consultant or business owner, that's your personal story, your family, your passions, why you do what you do. If it's a big company and you're trying to grow your company, it's 50% the company's story. How did we get founded? Why did we get founded? What's the mission? Who do we work with? Why are we so passionate? What's our team like? So that your prospect gets to know you and like you and trust you, either as an individual or as a company. 50% your story, the other 50% of that ebook, your best tips, frameworks, technologies, tools, resources, strategies, case studies, all your best stuff that solve the biggest pain points and problems that your clients have. That's what really works well in this ebook. Now, best of all, this is a set it and forget it piece of content. You create it once and it's evergreen. So you create this ebook once, you write it, you design it, you get it all finished and polished, and then you just reach out to 1 to 200 of your prospects on LinkedIn every day, knock on their door, and send one message, one line that says, hey, would you like a free copy of my ebook on blank? Or would you like my best free tips that help insert the type of business owner get blank? So for me, if I'm reaching out, I'll just pull up an example here on the video. One of our target clients is business coaches and consultants that we help generate leads on LinkedIn. I will make a list of business coaches and consultants on Sales Navigator. I'll use my profile. I will either direct message or send an invite or send an email, one line to each of them and say, hey, would you like my best free tips on how business coaches and consultants can get more leads with LinkedIn? Or I'll say, hey, would you like a free digital copy of my book, LinkedIn Lead Generation for Business Coaches? All you have to do is say that one line, either with the title of the ebook, if it says who this is for and what the benefit is, or my best free tips for, insert the blank type audience on how they can get a benefit they want, right? It's a very simple formula, but what happens is this type of content, when people say yes to it and you deliver it, they now could take the time to sit with it. It's 3,000 to 5,000 words. If it's written well and it tells a good story, and that's the key to these ebooks, is 50% your story. It's written in a way where they get caught up. There's a journey, there's a story, there's drama, there's a lot going on. And, I always show examples of our ebooks, some of the great opening lines. One of them was, my career started with a lie. Another ebook we started for a consultant said, I just thought my brother-in-law had too much wine during dinner. Instead, the phrase he blurted out changed my life forever. It's like, whoa, like when you start an ebook that way, instead of here's 5 tips to improve your employee retention, now you hook people in, right? So another ebook we started said, my hands were literally shaking as I completed the biggest wire transfer of my life. Whoa, like you start with scenes, you start with parts of your story and your journey or your company, and that hooks people into the story. That's that 50%. Then the other 50% is now here's how you can implement these things, these strategies, these frameworks. What happens is that one piece of content that you've created one time, you can use over and over and over again with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on LinkedIn that raise their hand and say, sure, I'd love to see it. Then you simply follow up with them through LinkedIn DMs, through emails, phone calls, whatever. And if they go through the content and like it and want to learn more, you've got yourself a pre-qualified lead. They're already bought into you. They already know your backstory. They already know what you're all about. They've already seen you demonstrate expertise through this book because you've laid out your best strategies and frameworks, and they have an immediate need and want to learn more. And that's what works so much better than publishing all this content on LinkedIn. I see it so many times that I talk to, people coming in looking for help, and they're so frustrated. I publish videos every day on LinkedIn. I follow all the experts. 7 days a week, I'm putting new content out. I might get likes. I might get comments. It never turns into paying clients. And I'm just here to say it's a lie. Like, you don't need to do any of that. You can literally get 5 and 6 figure deals from LinkedIn and never publish any content on the platform. All you need is that one piece of content, the ebook that I talked about, and then reaching out one-on-one, with the LinkedIn DMs like we've explained here. So again, all of that is available. If you want to learn the exact system for free, go to nemomediagroup.com or go to linkedinriches.com. There's a free tab. You can get all the books, all the resources for free. If you want to look at having us do it all for you, our agency, obviously that's what we do. Just go to nemomediagroup.com. You can see how to work with us, what it looks like, how the system works. Regardless, I want you to feel a sense of relief. You don't need to be killing yourself to create and publish all this content on LinkedIn. It's not where the money is. The money's in the mailbox, and it's in having that one great piece of content. So appreciate you listening. Appreciate you watching. Excited to hear more from you, and we'll see you soon.